Hi, Catherine here from Circle Art Designs. Today we will be working on the Beaded Dragonfly and Agate necklace. This is project 3 for the February Bargain Bead Box series. It is a sister necklace to go along with project 4, but I got project 4 out before I got project 3 out. So if you haven't seen project 4, take a look. They're both beautiful necklaces. We will be starting with the 10 by 15 millimeter Dragonfly spacer beads. Now I have to tell you, when I saw those spacer beads, I went, hey, there's something wrong with these. The back end is missing. But they weren't. I just had to put it together. And so that's what we'll be doing. For the tail of the dragonflies, we are going to be using the 8.5 by 4 millimeter crystal drop beads in that jet rainbow iris. We've used these before. From my own stash, I have pulled these faceted glass round beads in emerald green and silver. These are 6 millimeter and I just love them. I wish I could tell you where I got them, but any of the dark green beads will work. Again, from the Bargain Bead Box, we will be using the 8 millimeter frosted crackle agate round beads as well. We used these in the previous necklace also. And we will also be using the 6 by 4 millimeter crystal faceted rice beads in the teal with AB flash. We have used these in the previous necklace. No, in a previous project as well. For the wire, I will be using artistic wire in the tinned copper, and this will be 20 gauge. And for this project, I'm going to be using my oval jump rings in the 3 millimeter and I believe 5 millimeter. It's the smallest, and then the next size up. And the reason I'm using oval, besides I like them a lot, is because my chain has oval links. This is the fine cable chain, and I picked this up from Hobby Lobby, but any silver chain will work. For tools, I'm going to be using my curved nose pliers and my round nose pliers, as well as my loopers and wire cutters. I'm trying real hard to get a good picture of what these loopers look like on the inside, but maybe it'll come out better as we're working. So I tried several different combinations with the rice beads and those jet beads to make the tail of the dragonfly. I ended up going with number 3 because it was the one that matched the green beads and the purple the best. So this is the one I made off camera, and I think with the agate and the green barrel bead, round beads, not barrel, I think it'll go really well. So you will need a total of 4 of your dragonflies completed for the necklace. Each one of these components will make up a single section in the necklace. Then for each of your beading sections, you will need 2 of your agate components and 1 of your dark green bead components. This will make up the beading section of your necklace, and you will need 5 of these beading sections to complete the necklace. So we're going to cut a large section of wire off, and then we're going to put it through our looper. When you put it through the looper, you want it to go across the inside of the looper, and you'll find a little hole at the top, and put your wire in that little hole. Then mash it together, the handles together, and that will make you a perfect little circle. Once you take it out of the looper, make sure you use your round nose pliers and make sure that your circle is closed. We don't want any open circles, you know. So I decided I wanted a little tip on the tail of these dragonflies. I am using a 3mm silver spacer bead for this. So we're going to put on a 3mm spacer bead. We're going to put on our jet drop bead, which is the small end will go down. Then we're going to put on our rice bead, and we'll take it from there. Now once you have those on, go ahead and put on your dragonfly charm, and we'll be ready to make our next circle. So if you watch very carefully, I take the wire, and there's a little hole at the top, and I move that wire all the way through the loopers until the beads on the bottom are snug up against the bottom of that looper. Then I'm going to mash my handles down together and make the loop. Now there it is, just a lovely little dragonfly. Okay, let's do one more together. Let's make our loop using our looper. Or if you don't have a looper, you know, you can make these little loops with your round nose pliers. Then we'll put on our silver bead, the silver spacer bead, and then we will use the jet bead, and then we will use our green rice bead. We'll put on our dragonfly charm, and we'll make the next loop or the top loop. Remember, you need a total of 4 of these for the necklace. I'm making my necklace 33 inches because my previous necklace was 30. However long you want this to be, it can be extended in the back, or you can add more beads or dragonflies. So when you get your dragonflies finished, then I'll meet you on the other side. So now that we have our dragonflies finished, we're going to need to move on to our beading components. Our beading components will consist of the silver spacer bead, then an agate or a green crystal, and then another silver spacer bead. These will need to have loops on both ends. To make up the beaded sections of this necklace, we are going to need 5 of the beading components. It will consist of an agate, a green crystal, and an agate. We will also be putting on silver spacer beads on the top and bottom of each beading component. So using your looper or your round nose pliers, go ahead and make the circle on the wire that we will need for the bottom. So we're going to put on our spacer bead. Then I'm starting with the green bead and then another spacer bead. We will need 10 of the agate components and 5 of the green crystal components, and I'm going to make them all up at once, and that will make our 5 sections of the necklace. I just love these faceted round beads. I think they're so pretty. I have them in green, and somewhere I have them in red. I have a tendency to hide my stash from myself. Okay, so now we are putting our wire back across the looper and into the little hole on the far side. Snug up those beads and then mash your handle together, and when you take it out, you'll have a perfect little loop. Just make sure it's closed before you go to the next bead. On to the agate. Again, we're going to put our wire through the looper in the little hole across. We're going to mash the handles together and make our perfect little loop, and then close it up with our straight nose pliers. And as you can see here, I am straightening the wire out, and that's something I have to do a lot. Once you get it through the bead and it's down, it's not as big a deal, but when you're stringing those beads, you really need to keep the wire straight. So we're going to put our 3mm silver round spacer bead. Then we're going to put our agate on and another silver round spacer bead, and then we're going to make the loop at the top. And there you go. Now then, if I haven't said it before, you are going to need 10 of the color that you use for the same color, the 2s, and 5 of the accent color. So for this one, it would be 2 of the purple, 1 of the green, and a total of 15 beads altogether for the components. Okay, speeding this along. Now once you have got all your components made, you're going to want to line them up on a bead board or on a mat. I like the bead board better. You will put all of your bead components together and space your dragonflies out in between them. And this is what I've done here. Now using my 3mm oval jump rings, I'm going to put my beading components together to make the beading sections of this necklace. So I'm using 3mm oval jump rings to put my beading components together. I like the oval best because of where the split is, but the round jump rings work just as well. You're going to take 2 pliers, and holding your jump ring between the 2 pliers, you're going to take one side and twist the wrist. This twists the jump ring open slightly so that you can get your beads on. Put your first 2 beads on and then twist the wrist back so that it closes, and make sure that jump ring is really closed well. So again, take your jump ring, holding it between 2 pliers, twist one wrist only, not both of them, and open it enough to get your bead in. Then add the beading component you've already put together and your last of the 3 beads, and then twist it back and close it. Please never try to pull them apart. That distorts the ring and you will never get it back together. I know that was a big mistake I made in the beginning. So you're going to want to do this for all 5 sets of your of your bead components. Remember to twist that jump ring and then put your components, that section of the necklace, back on your bead board. This will be real important in the end. Most of the work for this necklace comes in all the components you have to make, and then all the little sections you have to make, and there's still measuring you have to do. Putting the necklace together itself is not very hard, but it is time consuming getting all the little sections together. But it's really worth it. As we're linking our beading components into sections for the necklace, would you take a moment and like and leave a comment for this video? And if you wanted to share and subscribe, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. Now for the chain, I will be using the same chain I did for the first necklace. And I'm going to use that same 16 count of rings. Yours will vary depending on what chain you're using and how long a space you want between each section of your necklace. You know, there are a lot of things that I just eyeball and do, like knot tying on bracelets or necklaces. But when I'm working with chain, after making some really big faux pas, I know that I need to count those little links every time, no matter how tedious it seems. Once you've counted your links and cut your chain, go ahead and lay it in the spaces that you have provided between the Dragonfly component and the beading section. That way you know when you've cut enough of them, and I would cut them all at once because counting those things gets tiring. But that way you know you have enough of them. Any space that length you need to make it longer, you can add in the back. So for me, because I'm doing a 33-inch necklace, I don't have quite enough space to get the chain stretched out. But I go ahead and put it in the spot so that I can keep up with where I am when I put this necklace together. Now, once you get your chain cut and laid out, I'll meet you back here. So unlike the previous necklace, we will only be using the 3mm oval jump rings. It's a very straightforward process from here. Just add your beading components, the section of beading, to your chain with a 3mm, then your chain to your dragonfly at the front, the end of the dragonfly to chain, then that same chain to the front of your beading component, and continue all the way around. I'll see you back here. So now it's time to measure the finished necklace and to decide how much chain I'm going to need in the back. So I draw myself a picture and do the calculations. Once I decide how much chain I'm going to need, I go ahead and lay it out against the ruler. This time I do not measure the lengths. I just eyeball it along the cutting line. And I'm going to add this to each side of the necklace with the 5mm jump rings. And that's what I'm doing here. Once I've attached this length of chain to both sides of the necklace, it will be completed. I'll add pictures to the back. Thank you so much for joining me on this beading adventure today. I love making necklaces, and I love sharing them with you. I hope you have a great day and a great beading adventure of your own. Blessings, y'all. Catherine, Circle Art Designs.